What is going on, guys? Jack here, and today we have another Dead by Daylight video, and this is something different that I'll be doing with this sort of Dead by Daylight information series, whatever you want to call it. And this one is to talk about killers that I would like to see in Dead by Daylight. Now, I'd mentioned this previously in the Chapter 15 video that I uploaded yesterday, and I was thinking, you know, a lot of people's choices might be the same, but I thought I'd give my take on the situation. I just kind of gauge what I would like to see in the game, and if I have anything to do with the lore in it, you know, I'd go into detail with that. So starting off the unlicensed side of things, because I would like to see more original killers, but a licensed killer is always nice, even though there aren't really that many left that they could do or work into the universe. So we're going to start off with the unlicensed ones. I've done 5 for each, so we'll have to see how this goes. So the first one we've got is a werewolf killer. Now this is one that I actually thought was going to be the Chapter 15 killer, with it being the chain, because most people in movies or even games, you see when they want to stop themselves from hurting anyone, they lock themselves up. So that was always a killer that I would have loved to see, you know, like that classic Universal monster vibe. And you know, I always thought it would be cool to have that kind of killer, you know, because like Krampus, Demogorgon, I've just accidentally given away one of the killers on my list here. Demogorgon was the first full monster killer that we got in the game, so that was really nice, and I think that was more or less when I thought, wow, werewolf killer would be really good, because there's a lot of similarities there: rage, ferocity, and very good at tracking people down. And I had an idea for like the power, where it was like the power revolves around like rage, kind of like Oni, where you start off as a survivor and they have like a rusty chain that they can use, and then when the rage meter gets filled up all the way, they turn into a werewolf, and when they attack survivors, they leave a mark on them, kind of like Ghostface. And if the person becomes a werewolf again and attacks them, regardless of what health state they're in, they will go down in one hit, and then, you know, they'd have to do the same thing again. It was that kind of thing that I was thinking of, you know. The map could be like a medieval village in the mountains or something like that, or in the woods. We have plenty of woods maps in the game, so it'd be nice to mix it up a bit, but that was kind of where I wanted to go with that one. Next one we've got is a wizard killer. Now, this one will tie in with one of the killers I have later on in the list, but it always fascinated me to have someone who dabbled in magic and sorcery, because I know Plague was probably the closest thing we'd get to that, with like devotion and things like that, and because the entity enhances powers, kind of, it'd be really cool. So we could have a killer who could like shapeshift, or you know, fake pallets or fake window loops, things like that. And now that we've got breakable walls, you could put fake spots in there, or something like that, you know, just to tie it in with the fake loops part. And really, I thought for maps it could be like, say, in a castle, or it could be even in like a dungeon type thing, or even in like a village. You know, if it was to keep with the theme of like medieval times, you could have it as that, or go down maybe like Aladdin's route and have it as like a specific era in times village, and not just medieval times. I think that'd be really cool. It'd be interesting to see what they could come up with. Like, you know, his weapon is a staff and he can shoot projectiles from it, things like that. I think that would be really cool. The next one we have is a Wendigo. Now, Wendigo is very similar to a werewolf, and supposedly very similar to the Hag in the game. But if we were to have like a full-on sort of Native American Wendigo legend in the game, you know, and the thing is, they'd have to try and not make it too much like the Hag. You know, in terms of cannibalism and things like that, they could find a way of, I don't know, having its power revolve around hunting people down, but like almost in like an animalistic sort of way. And maybe similar to the werewolf one, you could have it where it's a Native American, and over time this curse just consumes them and you just transform into this Wendigo. I don't know, it's something that I've only ever briefly thought about, but I thought that would be really good. And I think Hag was the idea that made me think, oh, a Wendigo killer would be amazing. And the map, you could have it as a cave, kind of like Until Dawn. You could have it as like a cave system in the Wilderlands, and yeah, I dig that. I really dig that. You kind of sense the theme that I'm going for, like monstrous killers, because that is what I love in this game. Next one we've got is Scarecrow Killer. The Scarecrow Killer, I think, goes back to like when people wanted Jeepers Creepers in the game. I know he's not really a Scarecrow, but I'd say the closest thing we're getting to Jeepers Creepers now is the Deathslinger, because he looks very much like him. And I think with Scarecrow, it'd be good if we got another variation of the farm map, Coldwind Farm. It'd be good if we had that and it was his own sort of playground. And you could even maybe make him like Harold from Scary Stories, or you could just come up with an original design to make him look as grotesque and as inhuman as possible. His weapon could be like a scythe, and you know, like his power could revolve around setting down like traps that'll, you walk over them, kind of like Freddy. You know, you walk over them and you'll trigger a noise notification for the killer. So that was something that I always thought about. Scarecrow Killer would sort of bring horror roots back to the game. And for the last killer, this one would tie in with Wizard. I was thinking Black Knight from like Templar times and Knights of the Round Table. You know, you could work as a knight who lost his way and wanted bigger and better things, and kind of like Prometheus from DC, you know, that kind of look. And I think that would be really cool to have a knight that defected, and when the night that he just completely lost his, he just went insane. That was the night that the entity took him, and that was another one where you could have like the remnants of King Arthur's castle as his realm. You know, that would be really cool. And a Night Killer would be really good. I honestly think, because the thing I've always liked about DBD is the culture that it kind of brings. Like, it really dives into like legend and folklore and things like that. And it's always, medieval times have always been something that's intrigued me, and especially with knights that, you know, forget everything they stand for and just go insane. Yeah, I think that would be interesting to see. If they found a way to pull it off, then absolutely go for it, and then just see what we can do. You know, power, you could always have him like only like charge at someone with his weapon and knock them down in one hit. That could always be something. I would love to see it. Really, I think it would be good. Maybe his Mori could be like attaching the survivor to a horse and slapping the horse and watching them get dragged off. It's a bit of a far-fetched one, but it'd be really good. Moving on to Licensed Killers. Licensed Killers is something that I imagine a lot of people's list is going to be the same, but I just thought I'd give my intake on the Licensed Survivor part and see where we stand with it. So the first Licensed Killer that we have is Chucky. Now, Chucky would be a really hard one to do because obviously he's a little doll and you'd have to work it and make it make sense. You know, it's not like Star Wars Battlefront 2 where you've got characters like Yoda who blend so well with the grass. And I'm not going to lie, that would be very terrifying if you saw Chucky running through the grass and you see this little terror radius. You could even do it if it was before he became Chucky. You know, Charles Lee Ray, you could have it as him, but you'd have to try and make it interesting to say the least. Not to say that he's not interesting, because you could work the voodoo part into him being the killer, but I think that's something that a lot of people would dig if they could just find a way to get it spot on. Next we've got Jack Torrance. Now, Jack Torrance is actually a character from the book and the film that I absolutely enjoy, and I think Jack Nicholson made that role his own. Like, I'm yet to see someone yet who could top it, but I feel like Jack Torrance would be a nice addition to Dead by Daylight, because I know there was that thing a while ago where they followed Stephen King on Twitter and everyone was going nuts because it was like, oh my god, we're getting like Pennywise, or we're getting someone from The Shining, and to be fair, I was one of those that thought that. Who knows, we might get it in the future. I don't know if we have any licensed ones coming out yet, but I think Jack Torrance would be really good. His weapon would be the fire axe, and the map could be either the garden area, the hotel, or it could be the hotel itself. I think that would be really cool, a nice big map. I think we should take a break from indoor maps at the moment because we have got a lot of them, and I do like the outdoor maps more. So I'm all for either a hotel or the garden as the map. That would be really, really cool. Next we've got Jason. Jason's a bit of a cliche pick, I'm not going to lie, because we've already got our version of Jason in the game, which is the Trapper, but saying that, we've also got our version of Leatherface, and Leatherface is in the game, and we've got that in Billy. So there's too many similarities, I'd say, but obviously because of the issue with the Friday the 13th game, and I think there's a custody battle over Jason, the license of Jason, it's kind of, I suppose if they were to put Jason in the game, they're waiting for the right moment to do it. Could be this year, because I know the court case and the whole issue of it is meant to be resolved this year, but only time will tell. His power could revolve around rage. You could have a lake as his location. You wouldn't necessarily have to call him Jason. You could call him Hobo, or you know, Slasher. Slasher would be a good name for him. Yeah, I would like to see Jason, but he's probably out of this list. He's probably the one that I would least want in the game, because it's just too cliche. Next one we've got is Pennywise. Now Pennywise is a given, and yes, we already have a clown in the game, but the trick with Pennywise is you could work it into him being, well, what it is. So you could, if there was a way you could invoke, say like, you're seeing the last killer you went up against, or you know, like Pennywise could disguise himself as a survivor. You know, it's things like that. I think it'd be interesting to see how they would make Pennywise, but I think the problem with Pennywise is he's very complex in the sense that, well, the entity takes people and makes them do what it does, but you could it really have a hold on Pennywise and be like, I'm going to make you do this? Because Pennywise is a powerful entity, so the entity would more or less be like, let's just partner up and cause shit. You know, and I feel like Pennywise's power could revolve around fear, kind of like the Doctor, and you know, insanity, and you could run around with a little red balloon or even a paper boat. You know, I feel like he'd be more of a hex perk kind of killer as well, but who knows, somewhere down the line we may get Pennywise, get a sewer map. Sewer map would be amazing, but we will just have to wait and see what behaviour do for us. And the last one I have is one that I inadvertently slipped at the start, which is Krampus. Now Krampus isn't, I wouldn't know if I class him as a licensed killer, but he is an interesting sort of idea to bring into the game. Now I know with Clown you have the Santa Claus costume, but it'd be nice if we had a spin on that Santa Claus idea, and you could work it in where maybe it's like a twisted version of the North Pole as the map, and take Krampus from maybe the film, how he looks, this big hulking goat figure, and you know, his weapon could be like a hook type thing, or you know, and a lot of his perks revolve around hope, and you know, if you fail a skill check it'll demoralize everything, and I think that would be really good. You know, a Krampus killer would be interesting. But I'd like to think that this is an interesting list, and if you guys have any suggestions, like what you guys would want to see in the game, then do sound off below and let me know. I'm dying. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, take care.